Hello, everybody!
Oh,
uh, welcome, everyone, to the stream. As you all know by now, my name is Jordan Szymanski, also known as Unholy Basil. With me today for the first session of a new role-playing campaign are my good friend, Vern. Vern,
Hello.
there we go.
Hi. Hello. Sorry.
Uh, Salty,
hello.
Nil,
Hi.
and our latest addition to the group, Neba.
Hi. Hello.
Yep.
Hi.
Uh, Nebanatsky. And Vernadera, whatever. I've got links to all of their socials and stuff down below. Basically, if you're watching this and wondering what the hell you're looking at, I am, among many other things, besides a nerd, an English freaking dumbass theater kid geek, um, video essayist overall. I'm also a role player, which all of those things should have implied. And I've already done a full campaign on this channel before. The audio quality was terrible for a lot of reasons, so we're doing another one. Eventually we will go back and do a season 2 of that first one, and that'll be fun, but for the moment, I want to play a game where all of my players get to be God, and I get to be something else. So we're going to be playing a system called Dethrone the Divine. This is a really fantastic system. Let me actually pull up the name of the people involved in making it. Here we go. Yeah, this is a system made by Matt Mr. Ray Adams. It's based on the DPS system, which is the awesome DPS system, sorry, which is by R.E. Chaos Grenade Davis. Amazing. I love it. And basically, the concept of this system as it stands. Oh, wait, hold on. Why is the hell? Oh, okay, that was weird. All of our. Is everything.
Oh, I see that. That's weird.
What the hell is going on? Maybe it's because I'm swapping through different windows and stuff while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be. Well, damn, that's gonna be complicated.
You have
How
it
am I
where
supposed
it's
to-
recording the window, right?
Yeah,
It's a window stream, not a
yeah, it's a
game.
Windows stream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Easy.
As long as nothing is on top of it,
Yeah, no, I mean, I did open
it
up.
should be fine.
I did open up browser. I opened Chrome so I could read some of the rule book. If I don't have access to the rule book, I guess we'll have to wing some of this. I'll probably have to ask a bunch of you for questions about like rules and stuff, and use my memory. And I thankfully have the one piece of the rule book open that I need to see that you guys can't look at. So I can just mouse over that and it'll show that without pulling it up open. So basically, Dethrone the Divine as a premise is based on shows and like books like, oh god, American Gods, and pretty much any similar thing where the main characters are immortal. However, I decided to take a spin on it and be like, what if that, but Berserk? So, let's begin our session with a little bit of proper introduction, shall we? YouTube stream time. Yep. Hi, Billy Bob Joe. Welcome in. Everybody say hi. Billy Bob is a patron of the channel. He's a wonderful man. Appreciate him.
Hey,
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
thank you for supporting our guy.
Yee. So, actually, hang on. I have a doc for this. I can just read out the doc. That's perfect.
Hey!
All right. Here it is. I should have these notes up anyway. All began with a word. In the destructive age of yore, mankind sought to be the rulers of this land. They demonstrated great ingenuity and mystical knowledge that saw them disrupting the natural flow. Forests and oceans were torn and covered to allow the march of so-called civilized city-states and nations. They became so dangerous as to even threaten the stars above, and it seemed there was no stopping their abominable march. Until the emergence of the gods. Earth called to them for aid, seeking a destructive force to match that of man. It found one, tenfold. 5 beings of immense power rose to cleanse the scourge of mankind from this world, demonstrating abilities surpassing even the wonders humanity had produced. Where the scope of human magics were narrow but extensive, the gods dwarfed them in sheer magnitude of understanding and oneness with nature. The war was over within a year. The rebuilding continues to this day. The world as it remains is one of healing and redemption. Hence these eons are known as the Age of Recovery. Mankind has much to repent for, and knows the gods will extract every pence of the price owed to them. Some rebel, and all are struck down only to assist the gods in death as they were unwilling to in life. Where was my spot? There's my spot. The only way for mankind to be forgiven is if we work hard and do right by the gods of the earth itself. So pay your taxes, sow your yearly saplings, and be sure to bleed yourself regularly. The mother will exact her price in life or death, so by paying it in life, you prolong your own breath. Light no fires, write no words, and covet not the treasures past. Through piety and poverty shall we be saved. You there, why do you look so troubled? Remember, the long road to humility begins with a smile. This is the religion that the previous pantheon, or what will become the previous pantheon, the Plumerian pantheon, has built in this world. One that teaches all human beings that they are worse than garbage, that they are devils, that they are monsters, that they have destroyed the world and brought this punishment upon themselves. The 4 we have here are not those gods. They are friends to humanity, or at least more friendly than the ones that currently emerge. They are, shall we say, a new idea that matches something older. Some come from far older ages. Some come from the modern age of man itself, which ironically is before the Age of Recovery. And some were born merely yesterday. I would like this to be your opportunity to introduce your characters. Whoever wants to go first, feel free to speak up.
All right, I'll go ahead and go first. I am. Should I? Do I say my full title?
However you want to introduce yourself.
I am Nasa, the god of the sky and of judgment. My goal is to free humanity from the clutches of the current pantheon.
Okay. That's all you want the audience to know.
I'll go ahead and go next. I am playing a robot named Otto Sinclair, the god of creation and discovery. He is a new god who was born not very long ago, and his whole goal is to create a better future and just keep creating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing Eureka, goddess of imagination and mourning. She was born in session 0. Um, and her objective, roughly speaking, is to, as she was born from the imagination of mankind, her goal is to bring imagination back to mankind.
Hell yeah.
I am playing Thome, a god of honor and battle who has recently awoken from being sealed away to reclaim the land for humanity.
Mm-hmm. Great. And yeah, you guys, to cover what happened in session 0, basically these 4 gods found each other through some machination of fate, the only power stronger than a god. And as a result, have decided to team up, for lack of a better word, form an alliance to tear down the Plumerian pantheon and replace it with something better. Now, to fully cover the exact the exact issues that humanity faces in this age, which I made sure to outline for you all in our Discord chat, and I am currently looking through to find where I did that. It is buried.
I went to go look for pins earlier, and I was like, I don't think these pins are for this campaign.
Okay, yeah, cool. So, to
Oops.
it's fine. To elucidate, after so for multiple reasons that we'll get into, the 4 that we are working with right now are based upon a cloud that NASA is manipulating, and which is used to survey the lands not at their disposal, the lands closest to them, to collect a general view of the state of the world. To recount that, for example, one village they passed over. Here we go. This is the state of one of the villages they passed over. As there are no fires, and as it is the month of October, the cold nights have nearly everyone shivering with lowered immune systems. You would actually see an old man freezing to death, his family surrounding him to try and keep him warm. Similarly, you notice there are no crops, yet there is a field where there would theoretically be them. They would theoretically emerge. Those not in the know would be informed by one who is, that the village's food is grown rapidly by the one who withers, the goddess of nature and age. Provided they do not venture out of their enclosure and maintain their rights. One of those rights is demonstrated to you as well as a friend of the family, desperately trying to comfort or save their grandfather, pulls out a knife and slides it across his own arm. Barely even wincing, he allows blood to flow freely onto the ground, spreading it as far as he can over the course of a few seconds before tying a cloth he prepared prior around the wound. He is making an offering to the earth, praying that it will make the poor man just a little bit warmer. None of this works. You notice the village does not have a graveyard, and you soon learn why. The lot of you see life leave the old man's eyes, and the very next moment, he puts his hands on his family's shoulders. One of the daughters among them looks up, hope filling her expression. However, the old man simply pushes his family off of him and stands up. He begins to walk away. The girl cries out to him, "Grandpa! Grandpa!" She attempts to follow, but is held back by her father, who whispers to her. Nasa relays what he says, being able to hear the words on the wind. "It's all right, Emmy. He's going to the gods now. He will keep us safe." Those are the decrees the gods have set forth. Light no fires. Gain no knowledge from the old world. Limit it. Grow not your own crops. Let the gods provide. Bleed yourselves regularly. Sate the earth's bloodlust for mankind. And your dead belong to us. There are others, too many to truly name, but those are the most egregious. What I want to ask of all of you is what what is your plan? How are you going to fight beings that, for the record and as a reminder, and to elucidate for the audience, can control all the plants of the world and therefore have roots spread everywhere under the earth? Basically all water in the world. As the one who weeps, her tears have flowed through everything. All the dead in the world, for the one who wakes rises them immediately. And all knowledge known to mankind, for the one who wonders constantly seeks it out. And for the record, if any of you are known to the gods too early, the one who rides the greatest physical power known to history will seek you. And with the help of the others, he may very well find you. You're not ready for him. Not yet. Not in a direct physical confrontation in any case. So the question is, what do you do?
Why?
If you were going to
Go
take
back-
that
go
back
option,
to
you
sleep.
never would. If any of you were going to take that option, you either never would have woken up or escaped your various prisons in the first place.
Well, Mesa's idea is to find some way to gain the Earth's favor, or something to make her more powerful, so she can be on equal terms with equal footing with them.
Yeah. Eureka being new, like obviously like between being given information and then just like with her power, like kind of information rapidly coming to her, like sort of like her mind catching up to things. Her plan is probably super rudimentary, but she knows she was born from resistance. So she's probably curious about what resistance, if at all, even exists, because it did. It was a fool's errand, but it did exist. So her focus might be on learning where that came from and why.
Okay.
But again, like also with a desire to see and experience more of the world. Like even if she can intrinsically know what it is, seeing is believing,
Mhm.
as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Otto is a little is pretty new to all this, so he's not very aware of how he could possibly go against the gods yet, at least. So that's mainly his whole reason for being around you guys, is to learn how he could do that possibly, and to follow that. And really, yeah, he has no idea. He's following your guys' lead for now.
Thome would want to find, if there are any left, a castle or something that can function as a bastion, a fortified position somewhere on this world.
Okay.
Mm.
So one thing that I do want to stress is that most of you will have played role-playing campaigns on a very much smaller scale than what we're working with here. Being a regular person means you have to worry about transportation. It means you have to worry about whether you can do something rather than what you ought to do. You are all playing beings that, at this point in the story, probably aren't genuinely on the level of gods, but are on the level of like demigods or extremely powerful
Mhm.
beings like that, monsters of myth and legend.
Would be like the epic level campaign characters.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mhm.
So, with all of that in mind, there is no reason that you have to choose exactly one thing to do.
Mhm.
At least, none of the reasons that there usually are. At this point, the only things you really need to worry about is what could be noticed and are you ready to be noticed yet? So, if you guys want to split up at any point, there is no like, don't split the party or whatever the hell. There's no
Gotcha.
like metric about that. Many
Then I have a
strategies are
question.
going to be necessary to win this war. What's up?
So the rules that were stated by the gods to mortals, it mentions no fire, right? Does it
Yep.
mention no heat at all?
I mean, they don't have like regular technology, so the ability to produce heat is pretty much limited to fire. Um,
Okay.
so like it doesn't explicitly say no heat, but without fire there is no heat.
Okay. Then I think Otto would like to try and start creating something that will cause heat without fire. Like maybe like friction of motion or other things like that.
Hmm. That's an interesting idea. Uh,
Hmm.
we can definitely talk about that. Um, for now, uh, sounds to me like all four of you want to do something different. So, I
Hmm.
would like all four of you to roll me 1d6, and we will see who has the highest roll.
Gotcha.
It's
I
not me.
think Samar time.
I got a 6.
I got a
Alright,
2.
awesome. I got a 1.
Also got a 2.
Let's go.
Okay, so Nasa, um,
I
you are the most reliable means of transportation for your group, but you do know
Yes.
that um, the other gods, the Plumerian Pantheon, they didn't seem to care all that much about Eureka and Otto Sinclair, and they didn't seem to be hostile towards Thome. So whether or not they know where the other three are at any given time wouldn't seem to be a huge issue. So you decide to drop them off at different intervals on your way to pursue your goal, which was to try to gain the Earth's favor, right? Do you
Either
have...
try to find some way to get more powerful, either gaining the Earth's favor or something else.
Well, you know that God's power is rooted in following. So if your aim is to gain the Earth's favor, that is a different thing than gaining following. Gaining following requires people, humans. It's the only reason they haven't been exterminated.
It's true. Okay. She can't just go around and say, "Hey, I'm back." So
Well,
she has access to the winds. Can I just take a small tour of the Earth and see if I can even hear anything about me anywhere?
sure. Let's make that a spirit roll.
Okay, I have a 2 for spirit, so I roll 2 dice.
That's correct.
Oh wait, do I get to roll a divine dice because it's my area expertise?
That actually, yeah, it's part of your domain. You are
Yeah!
using the wind for this. So
All right. So my first 2 dice. Here we go. A 6 and a 2.
okay.
And then
So
for my divine dice, I got 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
damn.
Correct.
All right, that is 1 success. You have to journey far. It's okay. What is this like? Hang on a second. Is there a way for me to fix this? It keeps playing ads, and I keep not delaying them because I'm fucking focusing on this. Whatever, I'll just have to keep an eye on it some more. I can monkey about with my settings for future streams later. You have to go very far. And yeah. Even when you do, the whisper is faint. Even with your ears and your powers, you barely manage to catch it. But you do catch it. And you follow it. You track it down to a small settlement nestled... Yeah, it would be a small settlement nestled on a mountaintop. Which is part of the reason you were ever even able to hear it. That's very close to the sky itself. But it's also unusual. There are no settlements allowed on mountaintops. They're all kept in specific clearings, kept where the Plumerian can observe them. This is rather strange. But perhaps that means that it's a good example. You see the humans here. They are as ragged as most, as unkempt as most. They do not have any fires lit or anything that obviously goes against the words of the Pantheon, but they do have weapons. Spears, specifically. Carved very finely with stone. And you know that Generally speaking, settlements in this world do not have weapons. You found them. What do you do now?
I want to spend at least a little bit of time just kind of observing them, just to like establish an opinion of them before I introduce myself to them.
Okay. Roll grace to keep anyone from noticing you.
Oh Jesus, I have 7 dice for that.
Yeah. I don't think I'll add your divine for this one because this doesn't. Yeah, sneaking around doesn't have anything to do with justice or the sky.
Right. I've got, let's see, 2 4s, a 5, and then 2 1s and a 3. I'm gonna re-roll one of them to get my last one.
Okay.
Another 3. Okay.
So you said, okay, how many 5s and 6s were there? The 5s and the 6s are the ones we care about.
Oh, I only got 1 5. That's it.
Okay,
Oh,
you got
man.
one success.
Sad cat thumbs up.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, yeah.
7 dice, only 1 success. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
You're dusting off.
You are able to stay. You said you'd be watching for a while. How long do you think you would intend to watch for? Would you set a time limit?
How long did it take me to find this place?
It would have taken a regular person several months to make this trek, but given that you have the wind to assist you in speed, probably like 3 days, give or take.
In that case, I will spend at least a day kind of watching them.
Okay, for 1 day, 1 success is enough. There we go. Actually, yeah, I'll just delay. Hey! Oh, perfect. Okay, I can just press that button and no more ads will show up for another 10 minutes. Sorry about that, everybody. This I'm not used to monetizing these streams. So fuck, how do I put this? Yeah. Yeah, you observe them for a while. And in particular, you listen to these conversations. Ever since your eyes were cut, you have gotten a very keen ear, even without the winds at your side, which might be a little too obvious, especially on a mountaintop like this. Strong winds, I mean, they're common, but any unusual ones would be noticeable for that reason. You listen in. And fuck, how do I put this? You hear a lot of talk about. I really should have looked up some epithets. Oh. You hear some discussion about the weight of words and how the Great Fire seems to think the weight will be lifted. It's all like kind of coded stuff, but it's less a code and more a reverence sort of thing. You are not the thing being revered by this conversation. I want to clarify. It's like a prophecy given by an oracle. But everyone who talks about it seems almost scared to utter the literal translation of it, or any translation really. They're all just repeating the words that they've said from what it sounds like, this oracle, perhaps, knew you would be released, or maybe heard about it since. And that was miles and miles away from here. Might not be exactly what you're looking for, but it's definitely
Oracle
something
seems like
worth
my
looking.
best shot at.
Mm-hmm.
So I would want to listen into where this oracle is, and then wait for the best opportunity to reveal myself to her specifically.
Sure. You spend some time rooting out where this person is hiding, and discover a small hut at the very top of the mountain. Most people have to take days' treks to get up there. In fact, many would not survive. The air is just too thin. You being who you are, you float up there within minutes. You approach the hut. And before you even... I'm sorry, what is coming from your mic, Vern?
What? Oh
There's...
shit! Is that hitting it? It is.
Yeah, sorry. Um,
I was wondering that too. I thought it was coming just from like my headphones or something.
mm-mm. You step towards the hut. But before you even get close to entering, you hear a voice. That's far enough, weightless one. And from within the hut emerges a large, muscular man, adorned in armor, red and rusted, but still highly effective. On his back is an axe, and in his eyes is a cold, quiet fury. So cold, it burns. You have never met this man, but you know the myths of him. Enough that your own heart tells you his name. And it speaks with fear. You have just met Ares, the god of war.
Huh? What?
Your first instinct is to run. But whether you fight it or not, you know you would never succeed, not at your current strength.
Okay.
I do not seek an altercation, strangely enough. I knew you would come here. This
How
is the
did you
only...
know?
There are 6 locations on the planet that still bear rebellion against the current reigning pantheon. I reign over one of them. The one that happens to be closest to your place of incarceration.
Saying you were waiting for me.
Well, not like I could do much else. He grabs the axe behind him and pulls it up. Which is when you notice that the head is the only thing that would be usable on it. The handle the staff, the haft, whatever you want to call it, has been rusted through. Holes got every single piece of it. After nearly a century without war, he takes a seat on a rock and drops the axe head down. It clatters to the ground and bounces away. My abilities have been dulled, to say the least. There is little hope for me at this point. The only thing that kept me going was the conflict boiling between yourself and your old friends. It's the only reason I knew you were still alive and waiting to release yourself.
So, why speak of me?
Hmm.
Why lure me here?
For a god of war to persist, war must be enacted. You seek to enact such a war. I intend to aid you. And my followers can certainly be persuaded to do the same. They are not as brave as I, and for good reason. They're far easier to kill. They do not wish to venture from the mountaintop, refuse to spread any sort of word, but they know where they might spread it. They've been plotting such. Unfortunately, being up here is both a blessing and a curse. I cannot converse with my own flock, merely inspire them. I brought you here with that inspiration, because perhaps a god of justice might find a better way. Something that could tempt them to finally journey off this rock and make a difference in this world.
As much as I would like to avoid war, it is unavoidable when it comes to my once companions.
That's the thing about conflict, Nasa. Everyone wants to avoid it until the other side has something you want, or is doing something that you don't.
Your flock below. You believe that I can inspire them to venture down and put themselves at risk?
Only by spreading word that you have arrived and that you intend to change things. But yes, it is a risky endeavor.
It's difficult to believe that people would believe in someone who is already lost to them.
And yet, he gestures to himself. I am here. And I am still breathing. Something that shouldn't be possible for a god my age. After a century without conflict. Only direct worship can cause that. The humans believed I had abandoned them, that I had disappeared. I had to prove otherwise before they would believe in me.
I guess I'd best see to your flock then.
I wish you luck. We're gonna jump to someone else. Otto and Eureka, you both rolled 2s. I want you to roll another d6 to see who goes next.
Roll again. 4.
Salty? Salty, you're still muted. Oh my
He
god, are
fell
they dead?
asleep. They fell asleep. Bedtime.
That's a dead ass octopus. They probably stuffed away.
Probably. Well,
Oh no.
oh,
Sorry, I'm not there.
All
Let
right.
Nebby go first. Okay.
damn. Salty out here doxing their YouTube account. Anyway,
Victory by default.
all right, so, Eureka,
Yeah.
remind me,
Yeah.
your plan, what were you, what did you want to do? I'm sorry.
I was no, you're fine. I was born like me recognizing that I was sort of born out of like a desperate plea from resistance, and it was sort of like the final spark on like the hay bale that's been piled up over like years and years and years of
Mhm.
like this desire. Knowing that I was like birthed from, in a way, from conflict and from that upwelling, um I kind of wanted to actually go back to the source of where I was born, like to where I was,
Oh, okay.
and sort of use the best way I could describe this is like if you've ever seen like Jedi that are really strong with the Force and they sort of like see in the Force like the past, they like sort of see visions and essences of like what happened, like the flow of things. She wants to go back to the source and sort of use that space to kind of trace back the ideas and the inspirations that brought forth, like she knows that village was like an illegal village and it was separated. She knows that these people were living on their own, resisting and fighting, and sort of wants to trace back from like a human consciousness perspective of like where that branch came from and
Right.
how it came to be,
Okay.
to better understand like what state of things brought her to be, so she can understand like how people are resisting in the way that they are with their creativity, if that makes sense. Like, so
Yeah,
it's like starts at like going back to the scene of the crime and sort of like
I get
mentally
what you're
like,
saying.
through magic. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
it's a hard concept to convey.
It's not. I mean, it wasn't. It was just you were still
Okay.
talking.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Sorry.
So you head back to the place where it all began. It takes you a minute to find it. Not because it's far away or anything, but because there are so few traces now of what happened.
Oh, that's what I was afraid of. Yep.
You eventually do find the village, and are you trying to hide your presence at all?
Most likely she would, because at this point she's been educated on sort of like the dangers of traveling, kind of, because I know there was that sort of like pre-zero sort of like, hey, it's real scary out there, she'd probably like almost in a way like she'd sort of like move in the shadow like as a shadow, like she'd almost like as a shadow hop
Okay.
between the shadows.
Roll grace.
Okay. I got a 4 in grace. Sorry for the dice, ASMR.
Don't apologize for that.
3
The viewers are here
successes.
for it. Wow.
3 5s and a 1.
Goddamn. Okay. Yeah. You just hide through the shadows between the trees. You manage to swerve your way over, without disturbing the village or anyone in it, and arrive at where you're certain the site of your birth was. But the body of the man who created you is gone.
And
The rest too.
yeah, that was what I was afraid of. But being back here, my hope is to see what I can glean, what I can trace back from like the thought process of the people.
I would probably say this is a spirit roll, just since you're
Spirit,
using
okay.
magic.
My spirit's a 6. I have 4 dice, so I'll have to roll 4 and then I'll just re-roll 2 of them.
That's
Or
fine.
again.
Mm-hmm.
From those 2, it's 1 success. And then 1 from that one, so 2 successes.
Okay. So you're attempting to glean like what got these people to rebel, basically? What got them
Yeah,
to
like track,
yeah.
like we're kind of like rewind like through their memory, through their lives, through their experiences, and like the imprint they put on the world, and sort of like trace back. The greater goal is like, hey, how do we get to this point, like with this group of people? Um, but obviously, like with less success, like okay, how did this happen with these people? Like whatever I can
Mm,
glean from like, hey, how did we get to this point
mm.
from what happened?
Well, you look back, trying to reach out to the mind that created you and the ideas that spawn a revolution, the thoughts and desires that get people to fight back against an oppressive force. And you flip through too many images to be able to properly absorb all of them. But eventually, after probably only half a minute, but what must have been thousands of places and thoughts and feelings, you land on something. A young boy playing much too far from home actually got lost in the woods. Somehow didn't get hurt by anything on the way, and tripped on something really hard. Something harder than he's ever had underfoot.
Mm.
He falls down, injures himself. There's blood on his face and a weird kind of line-like scar across his forehead. And he pulls himself up, crying. And then his eyes go wide at what he just landed on. It's unlike anything he's ever seen. You, after meeting Otto, would know this as a metal fence, a wire fence specifically,
Okay. Yeah.
that has been blown over and destroyed. The fencing has fallen onto the ground, and this kid managed to hit his head really hard on it. but he has never seen wire before. He's never seen metal before. He looks up, and his jaw drops in awe as he sees a 3-story building off in the distance, a school building, likely for an elementary school or something. It's taller than anything he's ever seen in his life. Larger, too. Wider. And the land around it, the green fields, it's as large as his village. And then he looks around and he sees more buildings. Tall buildings, large buildings, stretching farther than he can see, joined together by this weird black earth that's strong and steady, not soft like the ground he knows. Yes, the grass, it's lush, it feels pleasant underfoot, but this, he stands up and jumps on the road. It's strong. It holds his weight well. He can run better on it. So he does. He runs far. He laughs. He can't remember the last time he laughed. It would take many years after this child found his way home for him to realize that this is what the gods, this is what they didn't want people to have. This joy, this freedom. And no matter how much he tries to tell himself that what he did that day was a sin, he just can't find it in him to truly believe it.
And he was clearly one of many for there to have been enough to leave and make their own village.
Or he introduced others to it, helped them find the
To it.
place.
Yeah. Hmm. So more people know than we may even think they know.
Mm-hmm.
They just need a little spark. They just need reminding. Little tease, little hint.
Entirely possible.
I think from there, I think I would. And I keep thinking back about the kids that are still at the village, although they're probably not there anymore. But she doesn't know that. I think despite her better judgment, I think I would probably go towards the village to see, with the knowledge of it potentially being dangerous. So she would not like walk down the main road straight into town square,
Mhm.
but try to like approach the village to see what became of that and
Yeah.
what would come from that after everything that
Okay.
happened.
So, it's probably been a couple of days since you were last here. You poke around looking through the windows. It is at this time that I would like to make sure that our audience knows that this program is not for children. It will contain some graphic depictions or descriptions rather of pretty horrific stuff, and we will be saying the funny fuck word a lot. So,
Sorry, chat. Sorry. Sorry for whatever I just uncovered.
you have nothing to apologize for. This is my writing. I take responsibility for this. You look through the window. You see 3 bodies. 2 young children. And 1 slightly older, maybe a 16-year-old, lying on the floor. You look closely. They're breathing, but barely. Their bellies are concave. Their arms are withered. They don't look like they've eaten for days,
Yeah.
maybe close to a week.
Oh, intervening is dangerous here. Eureka is probably full of a lot of thoughts. She's less innocent than she was a few days ago. And that's kind of rapidly kind of steeled her in many ways. But she can't help but begin to sob quietly at like the reality and how, she imagines a world where this isn't what happens to kids that want something better, to kids of parents that want something better. And I think she'll say quietly to herself, and I'll try to invoke one of my traits, potentially using spirit with a divine dice to say, what if they still had a chance? And try to like bring into reality enough food and supplies for them to potentially go somewhere else, like just something for them to, yeah.
I do want to, just so I'm giving you the full picture. It's not just this
Yeah.
house.
It's the whole thing.
It's the whole village.
I think she's in a place where she is doing what she can where she can, because if she just like creates, if she tries to like bring forth crops for a village, it's over. So if she can save at least a few lives, even if it's risky or scary or dangerous, she may not even succeed. But she can't do nothing, and I think that's what's driving her. Like, it might be pointless, but she has to try.
Okay.
Is her thought process, I think.
So just this house then.
That's the thought. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it. Add in your divine dice. This does definitely fit under the trait.
Okay. So let me try this. So the first 4 is nada. The second one had 2. So out of 6, I had 2 successes. The divine dice is a 3. So no, nothing on the divine.
Okay. Let me try. Okay, there we go. Managed to get that to work. Now I just need to make it so that it registers Discord. Okay, and now it's registering Discord. All right.
Wow, 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 wow. No,
We're good.
Yippee!
Wow.
perfect.
Also,
Scuff stream, scuff
I don't
stream,
know
scuff stream.
why
Action.
everything is so
Ow.
loud in my headphones right now. That's bizarre.
Oh,
Anyway. All right.
I'll just talk really quietly.
No, it's cool.
Everything in
It's-
this bowl was great, except for the sauce. The sauce is kind of ass. That's just sweet.
Oh,
So,
Cool.
you were
So-
rolling a thing.
yes. I had 2 successes. My divine dice was not a winner
Gotcha. Okay.
for trying to give that house support.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool. So, 2 successes. Not none of them were the divine dice. All right. And what was the number on the divine dice? Actually, I need to know. That one's special.
It was a 3. I believe it was a 3. It was either 3 or 4. I'm gonna assume 3.
Okay.
'Cause
Cool.
I-
Then
a second ago.
doesn't matter too much. All right. Wait, actually. Oh wait, no. I misremembered. The number on the divine dice doesn't actually matter unless it's a success. Okay. You. Oh. You imagine that they still have a chance. And in that room, a loaf of bread and an apple just happened to emerge next to these children.
Goodness gracious. I think it's because I know deep down their chances are slim. Throws off the mojo.
You see the 2 smaller kids blink and slowly reach for the food. The older one stares without seeing. After a few moments longer, or actually, do you stick around? Do you watch what happens next?
Oh, if I want to. I feel like she waits for a moment and then accepts, I think, sort of dejectedly, that whatever happens next has to be up to her imagination. And she leaves in hopes that something will happen.
Okay.
I think that's what she would do.
All right. You leave, leaving our audience to wonder about those children's fate.
Oops.
Otto, are you back with
Mhm.
us? Okay.
Yes.
You wanted to make something that could produce
Mhm.
heat without being a flame.
Yes.
On what scale are you thinking?
I am thinking on the scale of maybe a large to kind of medium-sized build per a town, basically. Something that they could have in a town square to be around that would heat them up.
Okay. All right then. Do you want to use your special for this one?
I don't think I would use my special because that would be something that it would be used in case of an emergency, kind of.
Okay,
Some form of getaway or something that's needed right now.
right.
I can build this regularly.
Okay, sounds good. So you get to work. Go ahead and roll me a skill check.
Gotcha. Would this have my divined dice?
Yeah, you're
I believe
creating
so.
something.
Sweet. Alrighty. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Alright, so I have 1 6 and a 1 5 for the regular dice and a 6 for the divine.
Damn. Okay. Hang on. Okay. Our cameras are gonna go black for a little bit, audience. My apologies. But I need to remind myself about the specifics for the divine dice. Divine dice. Alright. Rolls a success on the divine dice and wins the resolution roll. The player gets to narrate a boost, a bonus effect to the intended result of their action. So,
Mm-hmm.
you you start putting this thing together. And as you tinker away, placing plate after plate around some sort of energy source, likely something that revolves around solar power, maybe takes in the heat of the sun, captures it, stores it, and
Mm-hmm.
keeps it ready for the cold nights to come. Um, Obviously, the surface of this would be covered in solar panels, but you would have managed to devise a kind of um, sort of self-cleaning system because you know
Yeah.
that the people in this area would not know how to maintain this thing. Um, as you are working with this, you actually realize you're able to make this thing do something else in addition to keeping people warm. What is it?
I think it would be able to give off a good bit of light too.
Okay, so people will have light in the darkness.
Yes.
Okay. You manage to construct your contraption. What would you like to name it?
Ooh, fuck. Hmm. Since it's powered by solar power and takes the sun's light and warmth and dispenses it out, I'd probably name it something close to like the sun sharer or something like that. The sun dispenser.
Uh, because you're playing a sciency person and sciency people have technical names for things,
Mhm.
we will refer to it as the Soul Condenser. SOL
Mhm.
condenser.
Yeah, that works good. I like that.
Auto create Soul Condenser. So, you have your invention. Now, what do you do with it?
Rating. And how big would this thing be?
Uh, basically imagine like a fountain in a town square. About that size.
Sure.
It's like
Cool.
a pillar that can be just like set up in the center of town, um, and just radiate heat in the colder hours of the night.
All right. Would I be able to would I be able to like just cart this around basically to a town that's close by?
You definitely would be able to take it to a town close by. Do you want to do that?
Yeah. I would try to be as I don't know, not welcoming. I don't know. I would
Up,
walk into town
yeah.
and be
Uh,
friendly.
go ahead and roll me an aura check. And we'll
Gotcha.
add your divine dice to this as well. These people are discovering something through you right now.
Gotcha. Ooh, okay. Okay. So I got a 5 and a 6 on the regular dice, and I got a 3 on the divine. So no go on the divine.
Okay. You cart this into a nearby settlement. Pretty much everybody like that was hanging around town collecting the crops that were grown for them. Um, upon seeing you, this metal man just stepping out of the woods, runs inside. Except
Oh man.
for a single young girl. She doesn't know what anathema is yet.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't know what you even are. She's just like a 4 or 5 year old playing with the grass. And she looks at you and her eyes go wide. And she just sits there staring, watching what you do.
Mm-hmm. He would look to her and say, "Hello, young lady," and then go to the center of town to put this down. What was that?
Huh. She doesn't know how to talk.
Hmm. All right. Uh, then he would probably put it down relatively close to her, actually, then, and like start it up and let it start doing its thing and radiating heat, so she could feel it from how close she is.
So, when do you arrive? Do you arrive at night when the heat would actually be useful? Because that changes the scene.
True. I would probably do it in the like near the beginning of the evening when it's starting to get colder.
All right, and it would have been charging on your way to walk. So, yeah, you set this up in front of her. It's near enough to the center of town that it's not that big of a difference. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and press a button on the side. A low whirring runs across this pillar. And after a few seconds, the solar panels that line the outside of this almost like lava lamp pillar in shape shut, and from where they were now sits a series of vents that just blur out this kind of heated air pushing outwards. And the little girl says, "Oh," and stands up and starts waddling over to it, holding her hands out like this, and just and starts grabbing at the air. After a few seconds of this, the door to the house that she came from opens up. Lily! As a woman scrambles out and picks her up in her arms and says, Don't touch it. We don't know what and turns around and starts running back into the house. What?
As they're running, he would look and say, "Ma'am, you don't need to be scared. I'm here to help."
She keeps running and slams the door behind her.
A shame. Then I will take a seat next to this and like sit on the ground with my legs crossed. And I will pull out just like, I don't like scrap metal basically and fidget with it and wait for some curious mind to come over and ask what this is, or show any form of curiosity where I could give conversation and explain this.
Okay. In the meantime, Foam, you are looking for a defensible position.
Indeed.
So, you said you were hoping to find a castle or something close to it.
Something that like the word bastion could be used, but anything will do effectively.
Well, as you examine the ruins of this world, you are not able to find any castles. You do, however, find several buildings, an entire city comprised of things much larger than castles. Buildings far taller than most human eyes could even be expected to count the floors of. You're having trouble yourself. And the moment you see them, you think, these are highly impractical. Completely indefensible. How are you even... There are no eaves from which to fire arrows at the top upon any potential dangers that would come to risk this land. No wonder these humans were so easily defeated. And then you see one of them that's been toppled over. A piece of it has fallen off, and in its place is now an open cave-in. And you stop and you look at that one. It is now roughly 10 stories high. Very large. Clearly defensible. Many areas from which anyone armed properly would be able to dispatch someone approaching, if necessary. And from the looks of it, after the wreckage, lots of different means of egress, but not a lot of easy means of ingress. Yes, this will do. However, it's going to need some cleaning up. I would like for you... You know what? These are huge pieces of rubble. I'm going to need you to roll might.
Oh, fantastic. my best skill.
You're welcome.
Rolling 6 dice. And 5 and 6 are successes, correct?
Yep.
Okay, I was going to tell you my number of successes. I don't think honor or battle really fit here.
No.
Alright, well, then on 6 dice, that is 3 successes.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, you spend the better part of a day just picking up pieces of rubble. You find that you're not feeling as strong as you used to, which is irritating. Apparently, worship is genuinely something you needed. You never really believed it back then. You managed to win almost every fight you ever entered. But it seems time has proven it correct. Nevertheless, you managed to clear out enough of the rubble to make what remains of this building a highly effective fortress. And in particular, since, as you know, that foliage is dangerous, you see the upper floors of this place not having very much of it, if any, as a wonderful boon.
Fantastic.
So you have your fortress. What do you do with it?
Well, now I need to find people to man it. He's going to effectively now look around and wander, trying to find something akin to a barracks or
I love this
yeah,
idiot.
something akin to a barracks or something that seems like it has a large population or something that has seen a lot of traction.
Yep. I love this idiot. Um, maybe one of our other friends can help you out. Nasa, you need to try to inspire these followers of Ares.
They're followers of Ares. They're followers for war, not for fucking whatever the fuck I am.
That's true.
But I know someone who does war.
You do.
So I think while Thome was fixing up his place, I was out looking around, finished my convo with Ares, and then headed on back to go find Thome.
He wouldn't be too
Wherever the
hard to
hell he-
find. He's the only
Yeah.
he's the only weirdo throwing rocks off a broken skyscraper.
Which she's very like, what the hell is happening?
Mm-hmm. So, Thome, as you're stretching out, getting ready to go looking around for a barracks for any able-bodied men and women willing to assist you, you hear the familiar whoosh of the wind behind you.
He turns, with a hand reflexively going towards the sword on his side, yelling out, "Who goes? Oh, hello."
I see you're still on edge. That's good. She comes close to the ground, but of course refuses to touch it. We know why. And says, "You were a god of war in your time, were you not?"
Particularly battle, but war is battle.
Quite. Either way, I have a favor to ask of you.
He nods and just motions her to continue speaking.
I have found followers of a once war god. I don't know war. I've never been one for it. But we need followers to be able to take on the tasks that we intend to. I was hoping that you would be able to convince them to change their following or
Oh.
to inspire some sort of hope in them of us.
He nods. Would not be very honorable of me to say no to you after you've helped me out. I shall help you. It also helps me. He then motions around to the destroyed building he is calling a castle now. Helps bulk up my forces. This is a very defensible bastion.
Nace is gonna look at it, but she's never been one for like actual building. She likes being in the clouds, and she's like, "Quiet, shall we?"
He nods, and then takes a step close to her and takes a deep breath. All right, I'm ready.
Afraid of heights?
I just don't know if I will ever get used to this feeling.
I'll be gentle. As she like carefully uses the wind to raise them both back up into the sky.
You slowly see the ground just drifting away from you.
He mumbles, I just really miss my horse.
Oh,
Get him a Pegasus.
You fly back to that mountaintop.
Yeah.
Thome, you see the small settlement up here with able-bodied men holding sticks with rocks on the end of them.
They're doing
What-
the best. Okay.
What is your first thought seeing this?
He just stares at it. Probably a lot longer than one should. Not saying anything to anger anybody or arouse suspicion, but he is very clearly staring at it. What god did you say?
A god of war.
I have now
Centuries old
noticed.
now, that in a world where war has not existed for centuries.
Okay. Where is this god of war? He looks around. His followers are quite ill-equipped.
She gestures to the mountaintop. Shall I take you to him?
How staring at the mountain, how long would it take me to climb to the top?
You to climb on your own?
Yeah.
I mean, probably a few hours, give or take.
He sighs. All right.
Careful with your breathing. And she raises the two of them up higher
He's
towards the top.
all of y'all are gods. You don't have to worry about that silly thing.
Yeah,
So
don't know.
you rise to the top and lower yourselves to the ground. Nasa, you find Ares still sat upon that same rock that you left him on, with the axe head lying in front of him. He seemed to have been lost in thought before you showed up. Ah, you return. I wouldn't have thought you'd have reason to
No.
And he stops when he sees Thome. And who, precisely, is this shockingly well-equipped gentleman?
Thome strolls right up to him. Sticks a hand out. You may refer to me as Thome. I am a god of honor and battle. I hear that you are a respected god of war.
Was respected. He stands up. Thome, he's probably about a head taller than you.
That's fair enough. He's not even that big, so.
Exactly. He is very muscular, but his armor has seen better days, and apparently so has his axe. He reaches out and puts a firm grip on your hand, nonetheless. Ares, god of war. He would actually say Greek god of war.
Tempted to say, what's a Greek? He nods. Alright, well, pleasantries are out of the way. I'm told that there are people here who need to be rallied.
Could be rallied if you so choose, although their stamina is very high, considering they've been living at the top of a mountain, but that's about the most they have going for them. They're all too frightened of the possibility of descending to ever risk themselves doing so, despite how much they despise the Plumerian Pantheon. Actually risking their lives to defeat them, that's a different story.
Thome smiles. Well, that's because you haven't considered an alternative. You see, Ares, hope is so much stronger than fear. Bring me to your people.
Nasa offers Ares a ride on the clouds.
I was hoping he had a horse.
If you said anything to the degree of, do you not have a horse? Or whatever, he would say, you think a horse could survive up here?
Mine could.
Hell of a horse.
Good for you.
Looks dramatically off the mountain.
Ares
Would
is...
it make you feel better if I give you a cloud shaped like a horse? Would that help you?
No, I would feel like you were patronizing me.
Ares picks up his axe head and walks to the edge of the mountain and says, I've no need for a steed. He hops off and crashes into one of the rocks below, hops off that, crashes onto one of the landings. Basically just hopscotches his way down this thing. He always was dramatic. That is correct.
That was.
I assume I'm assuming that I fought him before at some point. So.
Well, actually, yeah, you would have. He would have been one of the gods of the modern era. I mean, war had taken on such a brutalistic nature in mankind's heyday, with the invention of the atomic bomb and what have you, that most strategy was really just hit them with too much force for them to even compare to. Athena probably has faded away by this point. Ares is the only Greek god of war left.
So yeah, she's like, yeah, he always was dramatic. And then starts to lower them down.
Thome, do you allow yourself to be carried down by a cloud now that you know that jumping off is an option?
Um, she's offering her services, and it would be rude of me to say no. So he says yes, but looks kind of begrudgingly about it.
Nice. So yeah.
I could always just open the cloud under you if that's what you want.
We're already here. Might as well show up as a unified force.
You descend with the cloud beneath your feet. Speaking of head in the clouds, Eureka.
Oh joy.
So you have some ideas, or at least you have an idea of how rebellion was inspired in the first place. Now, how are you intending to use that information?
So she had an idea. It's not a smart one. um uh Everyone's gonna hate me when I say it. She's wanting to kind of almost pull a rebellious stunt. One that would potentially draw some attention, but not necessarily to them. I'm afraid to say it. So
Do
You
it.
already drank the poison. Lick the bowl.
Keep cooking.
she wants to one night from the town that boy originated from. Clearly, they're not too far from the ruins of an old city. She wants to sort of glamour a city skyline in the distance to inspire people. Not build anything.
I
but,
know.
like, for a brief moment, glamour this concept to sort of like en masse create this concept of like, hey, this was the past you had that was taken from you. No message, no presence, just this glamour, and that's it.
A vision of something better.
And then
Oh,
see
man.
what happens. She is in her rebellious teenage phase now. Gods grow very quickly.
Oh,
Oh,
this is gonna be fun.
boy, we're
Okay.
gonna fucking die.
You
Cooking
know-
with gas, cooking with gas.
You know,
Cooking
weirdly
with
enough,
gasoline. Let's fucking go.
I can't decide whether what you're about to do or what Otto already did is crazier. So I guess this is kind of both magic and trying to use charisma with people. So, aura
Yeah,
or
it's a little bit of
spirit,
both.
whichever is higher, aura or spirit, and definitely your
so-
divine die.
Yeah, so that night, I think she'll travel to this place. She'll travel to the place that she saw in the boy's vision. She presumes it's the boy's vision of the man she came from. Or that envisioned her.
So you would basically be going to the town
She
that he had come from before this one even started.
Yes,
Gotcha.
and specifically go to the ruins that he found, because he
Mhm.
clearly found the ruins of a city.
Right.
And in that night, as twilight, as the moon rises, just sort of put all of her force and energy into that idea, and just like as like just, I don't know, to embody remembrance, just to sort of like bring it forth, have it sort of grow, exist, and then fade into their imagination.
So fucking cool.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so let's
Give
so let's,
give me the roll.
Yep. All right, so we've got 2,
And count how many
3,
ones
4.
count how many ones and
Okay.
twos you get as well.
Okay. So out of the 6, I had 3 5s and a 6, 2 1s, and the rest were 2, 3, or 4. So basically 3 successes, 2 1s, and the divine die is a 6.
Holy shit. Okay.
I'm afraid.
Wait, how
That's-
much did she roll?
It was 6 die plus the divine.
So 6 die plus the divine,
what did you
and
get?
3 successes. The divine
3
die was a
successes.
success,
The
and
divine die was also it was a 6
I asked
specifically.
I
And then
asked
I
to
had 2
count
ones.
how many ones
When
she got as well.
there were
She
2
got
ones.
2 of them.
Yes.
So okay, so you got a boost. So
Holy shit.
you
I'm a-
are definitely going to inspire people with this. But as you're preparing this illusion, you realize that just inspiring people all on its own might not be enough. Inspiration without direction, without like a sign of something they could actually do and act upon, it could just float away. They could end up doing something that could make things worse. So
Yeah.
you're able to inspire them, and you're able to instruct someone. What is the instruction you give?
So I think in the eyes of okay, out of everyone who sees, I'm going to can I have them see can I also have them see something in addition to that, like as their emotion, like can I
It's
have
your
them, like, see an
boost. Go
additional
for
thing?
it.
Okay, so I'm gonna have them a young person, man, woman, however they identify, a young adult, see this image, be inspired to um, rebuild the past in their own image, and with the buildings that come into the sky, they'll see the form of a dragon streak across the moon.
The fuck are you doing to my moon?
So they'll see specifically the form of a dragon sort of fly by the brightness of the moon. Them specifically.
Eureka.
Well,
Eureka stands in the middle of this destroyed wasteland, absorbing every particle of the rubble into her mind before sending it out to a nearby settlement. One that, up until this point, has firmly believed in the Pantheon. Believed that they were the only way. On this night, as they're all getting ready to turn in, ready for the next day, some of them preparing to offer their blood to the earth. Those ready for their offerings stay their knives as they stare out and see towers in the sky. And one of them, a young, very lean woman, stares out and sees something else in addition to this. Where everyone else is coming out of their homes marveling at the spectacle before them and pointing out different distinctions, she knows that she is the only one that sees this. A creature never described to her, never taught, and yet one that any human soul would know. Slithers between buildings, its wings flapping to keep it aloft. It glides, turns, and soars, swirling around the tallest tower and silhouetting itself before the moon. And as it does, the moonlight glances off its eye, an eye containing the stars. And within them, the entire world 1,000 times over. And through that eye, this person, who from this moment on is no longer a woman, hears a voice. Do not let the past die. Write your own story. And as those around him are gasping in awe, he steps onto a nearby stone and begins to sing.
Fucking fool.
Meh. That's all I got. Meh.
That's all I
Dude, that
got,
was so
she says.
cool.
All right.
Okay. I
So-
fucked up, but it's fine. Everything's great.
That is a
I'm
good fuck
trying to
up.
figure out if Nasa would know that you fucked with the moon at all. Like, did you do
I mean,
anything to the moon
No,
specifically?
no. It was no.
You
Like
touched my goddamn moon.
It's
No,
it's
How
just
dare
in the-
you?
I would ask for consent before touching your moon.
You touched
Yeah.
my moon.
It was in the
It's-
sky. It was
imagine-
the
Touched
sky.
my moon.
And it-
she's the god of the sky, first of all. Second of all, it was in the mind. It was imaginary.
True.
That was kind of
Therefore,
that's
it's not my moon.
yeah, that's kind of the whole, like, so that was, believe it or not, that was what I was rolling for, because technically the realm you maneuver in is imagination. So you can show
yeah.
people a hell of a lot of things that are not there.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that everybody
which is
else
how
can
he
see it.
operates in that.
Like
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that anybody else can see it. You managed to get 4 successes. You showed exactly one town a vision of a city skyline. And you showed exactly one person a vision of you.
Yeah, I was real afraid of how that was going to go badly. I was like, okay, this is either going to be awesome or terrible. We'll find
Yeah.
out.
So,
But like,
Dude, I was
she
so
was-
nervous for you.
yeah.
but she like, look, she's pissed. She's in her, like I said, she's in her angry teenage phase now. Like she was all innocent and happy-go-lucky, session 0. Oh, she's mad.
Right.
She's mad.
So, where one person born anew sings the new god's praises, another person readies a weapon as he steps out of his home.
Yeah.
And it is not in the same town. Otto Sinclair, you are sat next to your ventilation system. And a young man stands before you. He is holding a large branch, thick. It is probably the only weapon in the entire town.
Mhm.
He approaches you. He is shaking. What do you do?
Otto would probably look up from his fidgeting with his little fucking toys and look up to him and say, "Hello, my friend. Are you curious about why I'm here?"
Because you are not stupid.
Yeah.
You are able to read this man's body language, his movements, his demeanor. He is barely listening to you. He is hopped up on adrenaline. And he believes you are a threat, that the machine you brought is a threat. And he intends to destroy it. And I want to make this clear. I'm not asking what you say. What do you do?
Okay. I would... It's not even listening to me. Is there a way that I can show that I am peaceful and that this machine is peaceful and will not cause harm to him to calm him down at all?
Can you think of one? The only thing this man will register is action.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you want to have happen, you need to do something that might make it happen.
Fuck, it's hard because the man is scared and on adrenaline. Fuck.
I mean, to be clear,
know-
it's like the adrenaline is just him being scared.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
I find it funny that Salty always gets the hardest like situations to navigate.
He
No.
always makes characters that can only do one thing really good.
Drew! It's my favorite.
That's fair. That's fair. Honestly.
Okay. I will go ahead and... God, this is so frustrating. I will go ahead and show him what this does exactly. I will start explaining frantically, be it what it does to try and convince him to lower his weapon. But if he does go to break it or anything like that, I'll let him do that.
You're going to let him break the thing that you spent a day making to save people's lives.
If it makes him calm, then I will be able to talk to him about this in the future or whatever. Then yes, I don't want them scared.
Okay. He swings the stick at you.
Mhm.
So I am going to need you. Actually, no, I'm going to be the one rolling this. That's right.
Yes.
He rolled 2 successes. He swings the large branch at your head. It collides with you and sends you to the ground. You take 2 damage. Whatever your HP was at, drop it a bit.
Gotcha.
He is panting, heaving. You can see it in his eyes. That is the first time he has ever hit anyone. But he doesn't see you as a person. He sees you as a monster.
Mhm.
Now you might be able to try saying something to him.
All right. Yeah. Then since I'm able to say something, I will stand up, grab my hat from the ground, and put it back on.
The moment you try to stand up, he's going to swing it at you again.
All right. Then I will not stand up.
Too late. Already did it.
Great.
One more success. Take another damage.
Cool.
You get smacked
I'm
back down to the ground again. You're down? Completely?
Yep. I have 3 health, friend.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, but I gotta make sure this is fully impressed that.
No,
Yeah.
I get it.
So you are knocked out. You wake up at night. Your machine is destroyed. Not just broken. They tore it to pieces. They were too afraid to do anything to you. It seems. You can bring your HP back to 3. That's what it's at.
All right.
You have self-repair mechanisms that keep you together.
Yeah.
You see a foot step into your view. It's not like those of the others around. This one is clothed. It is a boot. Well now, what exactly made you think that you could get away with that?
Okay. He will sit up and dust himself off and put his hat back on and look at this person. What do they look like?
This individual. Sorry, I need to pull up something to properly describe them.
I have an idea of who this is, and it's horrible.
Yeah. If your idea is right, then yeah, it is. And if it's wrong, then yeah, it is horrible. Let me just slide my way back through. I will get there eventually. Don't mind me.
Salty baby girl, I fear for you and your safety.
Oh no. Please be careful.
He's a baby.
Fucking, it's not gonna. All right, screen's gonna go black. Sorry, everybody. This is the only way for me to actually search through the chat. I think I can, right?
God.
Just hold your breath. There's no air in the void.
Right?
There you go. Perfect.
Fucking. This is annoying. Whatever. I vaguely remember what they look like. So, the person you see in front of you is entirely covered from head to toe. They wear thick boots, a long pair of black, very lean sweatpants, and a long black trench coat. They also have a gas mask over their face, wear leather gloves, and are basically just entirely covered, but otherwise they look fairly human.
I know who this is.
You do know who this is, because you were told about all of them by Nasa, even the ones that you didn't know about before.
Yep.
You recognize this as Dear Eyes, the one who wonders, the god of knowledge and keeper of secrets. He picks up a piece of your creation. It honestly is fascinating stuff. You managed to re-engineer an entire set of solar panels and provide some ingenuity by placing heat vents on the back, storing in the hot air and then releasing it after the sun has set. Had it worked, you would have been able to guarantee these people's survival from various cold and storms for roughly a decade, provided it didn't receive any maintenance, at which point you could have kept them alive indefinitely. Well, indefinitely for mortals, I mean. He flicks the piece away. Rather, they flick the piece away.
It is a shame they didn't like it. I can't blame them, though.
Well, of course you can't, after all, it's anathema. This abomination, they kick the remains again, and all of its ilk are to be brought to me and stored away where mankind cannot abuse the things that it created. Come to think of it, you were made by mankind too, weren't you?
I believe so.
Well then. It appears I have a job to do. Nah, I'm just kidding. You should have seen the look on your face.
His hand is in his pocket, ready to click the clock, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
And make something to run.
They are just No, don't worry. I'm not here to capture you. You can consider this whole thing a warning. I mean, this whole like thing you made here, it's really interesting. I will definitely have to confiscate all of these little scraps and whatnot. I can't have somebody, finding this and trying to reverse engineer what you created. Like I'm sure they wouldn't be able to, but weirder things have happened, right? I mean, you exist. They turn around and start picking up the pieces of your destroyed contraption and just like placing them in a bag they have at the side. I do have to wonder though, why are you helping these people? You saw how they reacted. I'm sure that wasn't the first time you've been shown fear.
It is natural to be scared. I believe even when I first woke up, I was scared. But then my curiosity took over. To help with me helping these people, I hope to ignite curiosity in everyone once again.
So you intend to work against us?
If that's what you want to believe. I don't think so.
Explain to me. They turn and look at you. Explain to me how reawakening the curiosity of men and women and their ilk in any way does not lead to them picking up the pieces of what once was and using it. Something I personally have expressly forbade them to do.
Hmm.
Humanity lost its right to curiosity long ago. They used their right to curiosity, their right to learning and growth, to destroy the planet they live on, to destroy each other, for no other reason than that they possessed something the other wanted. It is my job to make sure they never become curious again. So that way this world remains living and healthy, and the hundreds of other species on this planet are allowed to thrive. As they always should have done.
Hmm. He's going to reach into his pocket and pull out the watch. And he will look towards him and say, well, then I blame you for that. Because humans need a smart god to make sure they follow the path of good instead of evil. I'm going to click it, and I want to make something with what scraps he hasn't grabbed yet to teleport to the closest one of my friends of the four people or the other people that are playing.
Teleportation is not exactly something you can create through a vent.
Yeah.
But you can make a jetpack.
True.
So, could you remind me what you have written on your sheet for your special move? I forget. Did we say it required rolls? It probably requires a roll. Nasa's requires
I can
a roll.
imagine it would. I can imagine it would require a roll. Basically, what I have is if I'm able to create anything I need out of items I can find, and then the details are that I put is clicking the pocket watch stops time and allows me to collect and create something.
Okay.
Almost instantaneously.
Right. Yeah, go ahead and give me a skill roll with your divine die.
Gotcha. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. That's 6. Ooh, okay. Okay. All right. So that is 4 successes and a 5 on the divine die.
Nice. Okay. 4 successes. Actually, yeah, so that's just... Yeah, 4 successes plus another success for the divine die. All right.
Yep.
Give me just a second. Wow, you are lucky. Okay.
Yeah, baby.
You click the watch. And within what the audience sees first is you clicking the watch, calmly stepping around, taking one of the pieces out of their hand, picking up a bunch of the other ones, just fidgeting about with them, taking out that piece of scrap metal that you were messing with earlier, sticking it into the side of one of those solar panels, kind of breaking one of the solar panels in the process, which you're upset about, but for the greater good. Connecting all of these pieces with some wire, And the next cut is you strapping a jetpack over your shoulders. Then there's a as the watch clicks back into place, and you immediately jump and boost off towards the nearest mountaintop. What uh what they saw, what Derize saw, was 1 second, you click the watch, the next, you have a jetpack. Poof! We linger on Derize for a moment, as they're just staring off, watching you go. It managed to figure out quantum mechanics? Oh, this one's good. They pull up their mask, and we see a perfectly ordinary human androgynous individual. Just a dude. I've wanted a challenge for so long. Cut to Nasa and Thome. You guys reach the village, the settlement of Ares' people. Ares himself has slammed down onto the ground just a few seconds before you drifted downwards. And the moment he showed up, everybody dropped to a knee and bowed their heads. When you drift down, Ares drops to a knee and bows his head. The flock look confused. Which of you tries to assuage their confusion?
Well, Thome was brought here for this reason. With his nervous tick of resting a hand on his sword, he takes a few steps forward. Puts his hand up. You may all rise. And then he blinks for a second. Looks as if he's taken a mental note of not doing that anymore. My name is Thome. And I hopefully bring to you something you haven't had in a very long time. Hope.
I want you to roll an aura check for me. And I will allow you to use your divine die for this.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah!
Not a lot more honorable and warrior-like than what you're doing and saying here.
So far, I've only rolled my good stats. This is great. I got 2 successes. Now, 2s don't do anything bad, right?
No.
Oh, thank God. So I got 2 successes and a 5 on my divine die.
Nice. That is another success. Okay. So, let's see. Yeah, I'd say that's a boost. You step forward, and your hand being on your hilt is actually what gets them to stand. Their god, we see in their eyes for a moment, Ares was already splendorous and fascinating to them, these people who never knew metal. You look like something out of a fairy tale. Um, you have the people's attention.
And are they, you said they're carrying these like
Some
stone
of
and
them,
stick spears?
some of them
Some-
are carrying very, very rudimentary spears. I mean, with no fire, there's no forges. With no forges, there's no metal. With no metal, there is no Bronze Age. There is no proper weaponry.
Hmm. He walks over to one of them that has the spear and motions to it. Goes, "May I?"
He quickly presents it. You already have a sword. If you really wanted to kill him, you could have.
He holds it. If one were to strike someone with this, would it just break?
If it was done properly, no. Even a spear as rudimentary as this is far better than just punching someone. That said, this definitely is not the most stable or durable. It is very likely, like, if this were ever thrown, it would immediately shatter. The actual, like, it might still kill whatever it's thrown at, but it would then shatter. After multiple strikes, it's definitely, if not going to be worn down, just broken. It is a very brittle weapon. You'd have to be very careful using this, and careful in combat is difficult.
He nods as he goes to hand it back to the person. He turns to Ares. Did you help them? Did you teach them to make these?
He nods. I would have taught them to string a bow as well, but we have an abundant lack of string up here.
He nods. Did you teach them to fight?
As much as I could, but without seeing true battle. I would not consider any of them apt soldiers. They all look somewhat ashamed.
I see. So sparring matches is the best that you could do up here. That's unfortunate. But, he turns to everybody. You have trained, and you have a weapon. You now just need a means. A vehicle to carry your wills forward. That's where we come in. It is a lot, and it's a large ask. But, in the times to come, we will see you properly equipped and trained. He puts his hand out towards them. But we will need you to change this world.
They look at each other for a moment. And after a while, they look to what appears to be the not necessarily the best warrior, but definitely the largest man. As if gauging his reaction.
On that, as if taking the getting the cue, he smirks a little. And just turns about face. But I do not think you would just take my word on it. I could just be a young-looking man in a strange suit of armor. He then pulls off the short sword on his side and tosses it to Ares.
Hmm. Uh, Ares catches it and smirks. If
He stretches as the cape he has on his back kind of just flows off as his hand goes for the other sword.
Are you certain about this?
He gives Nessa a smile. It's how us battle gods talk.
Precisely. Although he calmly and carefully places the short sword down on the ground and picks up the head of his axe. If I
That's the
am
head
to
of it.
fight, it will be like what would he call it? Sorry. If I am to fight, it will be with my lady in waiting. And
Nasa just fucking pinches the ridge of her nose. Battle gods.
all right. Well, Thome. Oh man, I don't even know what I guess yeah, probably about that size. Okay, Thome. You ready?
Yes, I am.
So, I think I'm just okay. Since neither of you are trying to kill each other, we'll call this a sparring match, and we will say that it is down to 3. Well, we'll say 1 might roll from each of you. If a tiebreaker is necessary, then we'll extend it to 3.
All right.
God win.
Divine dice.
Divine dice indeed.
I feel like Nasa would play ref here and walk up and like hold up her hand to like to wait for them to be ready to call for them to begin the fight.
Mm-hmm.
He picks up the sword he tossed him and draws that one. I don't know if I can. The other one's not a great idea.
Why? It would give you reach advantage.
It's special property.
I mean, what magic does this guy have?
You know what? You're right. I'll draw my actual sword.
So, the two of you square off. You can feel free to make your roll.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead and make your roll, and then I'll describe the scene.
It's a lot of dice. Oh god. The number 2 really likes me. Okay. Got a lot of 4s in here and 2s, but I got 2 successes and a 6 on the divine die.
Oh my god, if it was on anything but the divine. So, the two of you square off, assessing each other. And Nasa holding her scales aloft, allows them to even out, making sure that the moment is right where each of you has just as much chance of victory as the other. Before swinging her arm down, and the fight commences. To most of these humans, it is as if two whirlwinds are making contact with one another. Your sword clangs against the heavy the heavy blades of Ares' battle axe, and you manage to deflect and parry several of his swings, but the sheer weight bearing down on you is almost enough that you lose grip on your sword more than once. Your grip sort of slackens a little bit, but either through the magic nature of the bond you have with the sword or through your own skill alone, you manage to keep hold and swing around and take advantage of the attack, the momentum, and so things continue. This goes on for roughly a minute. It's been a while since someone has lasted this long in combat with you. But so ill-equipped and with such a weakened demeanor, it was only a matter of time before Ares got tired. How do you beat him?
With one of he takes a step back, feigning like a stumble, as Ares would go in for the last swing. He pivots up and just raises the sword just slightly, to where if either of them pushed forward, it would have slid into Ares' throat.
Demonstrating a
Ace is
degree
impressed.
demonstrating a degree of guile that none of those around you would have seen before. We flash back to a memory of a lesser god who managed to do exactly this to you once. Just once. And it was all you needed to be sealed away for millennia. You were not created with a crown in mind for you. You earned it through decades, centuries of hard work and experience, and by learning from every single fight you have ever been in. The weasel that put you away may have been an urchin, may have been a deceitful man, willing to steal the honor of others. But even you could not deny he was a skilled fighter. And now his skill is yours. Ares, rather than looking insulted, as you had so long ago, simply chuckles and drops his axe. Ah, clever. Reminds me of my sparring matches with Athena.
I will take it as a compliment.
He steps back and gestures to you as he looks at his people. As you can see, strength alone will not bring you through this crisis, will not deliver you. If you seek deliverance, you must put faith in your minds, your hearts, your wills. I am not the god. that would give you these things. The power to use them. So I have brought to you two that will. They blink, wondering, two? And he turns to Nasa. The one who weighs has returned, and her scales turn to humanity. Many of the people in the crowd are aghast, clearly afraid.
Sorry.
But the man in front, that large human they had looked at before, looks at you, Nasa, and finally speaks. You have determined that we are no longer unjust.
Yes.
Tears begin to fall
We've
from this
suffered
man's
more
face.
than enough.
This seeming leader of the warriors of this tribe begins to cry. And slowly, one by one, the people in this crowd begin walking towards Thome or Nasa. They will place their faith in both of you, to some extent. But everyone has a favorite god. We're going to do something. We're going to have our end of session moves, as is common with many role-playing games like this. However, unlike some of them, these will be part of the story. Eureka, you have inspired many to seek something to fulfill their life with. Something more than just eating the next day. You have inspired one to compose verses about the history of the world. You have definitely earned a level up, and additionally, you have earned an unnamed... Fuck, what do they call it? There's a word for it. Let me find... Come on. Oh, and an unnamed champion.
Champion.
Champions are the people of the world that most believe in your faith. Those who exemplify your works through their own. If there had been a god like you in the time of Shakespeare, he would have been their champion.
Oh, okay. Oh. Oh my.
So in addition to whatever else you decide to gain from your level up, you automatically gain that.
Okay. All right. Let me take a look at that. Is that a thing we're doing right now, or a thing we'll be doing in between?
Again, they're an unnamed champion. You'll find out more about them in
I
later
meant like
sessions.
the level up.
Oh, the level up? Yeah, I can talk about that more off screen. That's like
Okay, yeah, we'll
I
do
wanna
that
I wanna
later.
cover I wanna cover everybody else real quick.
Yeah.
Otto, despite everything that happened today, you did in fact manage to earn a following. This is your origin. You start with a following of 2.
Mhm.
While many people were afraid of you, you're going to leave an impression, for sure. However, people are afraid of you. Your fear is going to go up by 1.
Gotcha.
Oh, I also forgot. I forgot to mention this part specifically. Eureka, your following is now at 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um. So,
Yes.
you have managed to do some spectacular things today. Whether you realize it or not. Not only have you established yourself a base of operations and found people to help you um, keep it strong, but you also managed to find a genuine sparring partner. And that sparring partner is actually kind of neat. You have gained a bond with Ares, the god of war.
Nice.
Oh, and I didn't. I forgot again. Just blanket statement. Everybody leveled up this session, regardless of
Oh, okay.
however, like regardless of like your failures or anything. I'm just going to say, because keeping track of like uh failures and stuff is difficult with this system. We're just gonna do milestone leveling. You're each gonna level up once at the end of every session, unless you do something really cool. But I'm gonna make sure that everybody stays leveled at the same rate, basically, because you guys are a team at the end of the day.
Gotcha.
And lastly, Nasa.
Hi.
You will find out as people begin flocking around you that this gentleman, the man that cried after hearing that humanity was no longer deemed unjust, his name is Rowan. Rowan. And his grandfather's name was Miles. It was a name you remember. He was a tyrant. One of the people who first tried to rebel against the Plumerian Pantheon when they took over. One of the last who stayed rebelling. But even as he did so, he continued to treat other humans with suspicion. Tried to own the people under his care. He was a monster. You firmly believe that to this day.
Mhm.
And Rowan has lived with the stories of his grandfather ringing in his ears his entire life. He joined this commune specifically because he felt that if he was going to be damned forever, then he might as well be damned for something he did. to hear what you said, it took a weight off his shoulders. One he intends to repay in full. Rowan is now your champion.
Oh.
Hugging.
Oh, should I have a champion?
Mm-hmm.
Do I put that under bonds or do I put that in a separate thing?
You can put it under bonds and label it as champion, I guess. It's weird. But
I
yeah,
kind of had it as like a subsection under trait.
wherever you guys can keep track of it, feel free. And as Otto Sinclair rockets off towards the mountaintop that Nasa and Thome have just finished their work at, as Nasa feels a spark in her mind, as many people think of the sky and the moon and something in front of them. And as Eureka calmly walks her way back to her friends, knowing that she did good today. A certain live human, masquerading as a god, returns to his fellows to warn them. And that is where we are going to end today's session of Dethrone the Divine. Someone asked in chat, is this 5e or Pathfinder? It is neither. What we are playing right now is a system known as Dethrone the Divine. Let me pull... Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and swap.
Crafting in Final Fantasy 14? Hog.
Hang on.
You should listen to this on
I know,
repeat
right?
while you watch, while you
Right.
prep. Huh?
I know them.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Friends
go
of
ahead.
Salty?
Here we go. Oh, let me turn those
They must be
names
sweet.
off. Those are taking
mm-hmm.
up
Sweet and salty.
too much
Mhm.
space.
Salty is
Yeah. So,
Oh.
Dethrone the Divine
Mm.
is a system by Matt Mr. Ray Adams. It's very, very interesting. I feel like a lot of it could use some clarifying, to be honest, but it's a very neat idea. It's basically based on stuff like American Gods. The whole idea is that all of the players are burgeoning godlings that are trying to overthrow the current pantheon and supplant it with themselves. I decided to throw in some Berserk inspiration, and that is how we've got what we have here. So, I highly recommend anybody who is interested take a look at Mr. Ray and Dethrone the Divine. It's utterly fantastic. Oh goodness, it's doing the thing again. Here we go. Oh, come on. Jesus, finally, we're good. Oh no, fucking ads.
Got 'em.
Not that ads.
Well, for anybody
Bring
who's
it up,
watching the
Mr.
VOD,
D.
I guess, it is a very cool idea, and he actually has it as part of a bunch of bundles and stuff supporting Palestine and a lot of really, really, like, he's clearly a provider for change, and that itself is really fucking cool. If you want to check out the system, there are a lot of community copies available for free that you can check out, but I highly encourage you to purchase one yourself. Everyone's purchase will create an additional community copies for someone else to check out the system for free. So it's just a really nice give to pretty much everybody, which is just an awesome fucking, like, piece of capitalism. Can I just say that? Like, that is such a freaking cool thing. So yeah, this has been our inaugural session of Dethrone the Divine. Our campaign is known as The Hands That Thieve. This has been Vern.
Hi.
You can find her Twitch account down below. Salty,
Hello.
whose Twitch account you can also find down below. Nebanatsky,
Hello.
who also has a Twitch down below. And Nil,
Hi.
who's
You
a
can't find
dude
him.
who's yeah, he's an enigma.
You can't
I don't
find
know.
him. Good luck trying.
I don't know how he got here. He just shows up in my Discord chats and assume like with a character ready. I don't even tell him what system we're playing. He just has it.
Just walks in.
Oh yeah.
He's like, all right, when's the game starting? It's like, what?
Yeah.
You walk into your room and he's already sitting there with the book open.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, no-
actually.
No worries.
Like, how
This
did you get into my D&D stuff again?
try to catch it earlier next time. Yeah, of course. This is going to be a bi-weekly campaign. So not
Okay,
next
okay,
week.
okay.
Yeah, not next week, but the week after. We will be starting on Fridays. Usually it's going to be at 8 p.m. Sometimes we'll start an hour earlier, depending on how our schedules all work out. But yeah, take it easy, everybody, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Bye.
Bye-bye.